welcome back. I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, on this perfect spring day, we're driving a Beck Spyder. This is the poor man's 550, and man, is the discrepancy outrageous. A real Porsche 550 Spyder is going to set you back about $6 million, sometimes more, depending on which car it is. This you can have for about 40 grand. And sure, they're not the same. This was built in 2008. And while a kit car is never really gonna live up to the actual thing, I'm also never gonna have $6 million to spend on a fun toy. So this is pretty good that I can get into this and get a little bit of the James Dean experience, hopefully only the good parts of the James Dean experience, from this at about $40,000. It's powered by an air-cooled flat-4 Volkswagen 1600cc engine. It's definitely a bit of a hot rod, and I'm going to show you what lies beneath this cool clamshell. This is the best part about these cars, is not only are they a blast to drive, especially when they're set up well, but the car show appeal of a clamshell is pretty much unmatched. This is as good as it gets when you pull up to somewhere and you say, oh, and I've got to go on the other side because the hood prop is on that side. This is the trick. But there's really not much cooler than this. You kind of feel like those Ford GT guys when you get in this thing. Anyway, there you have it. Our mid-mounted air-cooled flat 4 and a 4-speed manual gearbox. The exhaust comes out into a single tip, looks so menacing from the rear. I'm really into it. And down here, you can tell it's a bit of a hot rod. I don't know exactly how much power this is making, and it only weighs about 1,350 pounds. These things are outrageous. And the best part is that they're upgraded enough that they're still super usable, and they feel pretty safe. I mean, obviously you don't want to get hit by it, but it's got disc brakes all around, despite the fact that it looks like there's drums hidden behind these wheels. There's not. That's just a shield. So I really love the way this is set up. Also, think about how easy this is to work on. If you know how to work on and tune a Volkswagen engine from a Beetle, you're pretty much good to go. And real or not, this is a 1,350-pound car with a mid-mounted air-cooled 4-cylinder that is this small, this open, and this exciting to drive. There is a little bit of storage up front if we open up this bonnet. Oh, you got to be a little bit of an acrobat to get in and out of this thing and get to the controls. But up here, more storage than some modern supercars and a fuel tank. What I love about this fuel tank is that you're able to access it without opening this bonnet. That is not true of early speedsters and 356s. So I really dig the fact that you're able to do this, show up at the gas station and just pop that. But the real special thing about this particular car is just how rowdy it is. It is such a visceral experience. So let me start it with the clamshell open so you get a little bit of this experience. Here's our starter here. I'm sure that's already totally blown out the audio. Yes. How cool is that? What a little monster. All right, let's close it up and get out and drive. There's different levels of how convincing a replica Spyder can be, and sometimes from different places it looks more legit than others. So these gauges look fantastic. I think the bodywork is really good. It's really where it's this handbrake and this shifter and this wheel and this column with the stocks. That's where it kind of falls apart in terms of its cosplay of a real one. But the seats, I think, are somewhat passable, not as original, but they match the car and the vibe a little bit. But, you know, I don't think we're out here trying to lie to people. So crazy. Now this has a windshield, which is kind of nice. It allows you to actually drive without getting, like, you know, tons of air in your eyes watering, and that's a bit of a nightmare. A real 550 might just have no screen or the little guy right here. I'm gonna put these on for wind noise. Let's go for a rip. sounds so good. Brakes really give you the confidence to exploit the car and use it the way it's kind of supposed to be used. But also check this out. Look, it'll clear the big old speed bump. Short wheelbase. We got both wheels on and at the same time. No scrape on the exhaust. It's pretty easy to drive. Such a riot. It's also incredibly easy to drive. You know, you've got this little Volkswagen engine, and sure, it's definitely like a hot rod version, but it's not hard to operate. Despite its barking mad personality, it's not always encouraging me to be a terrible driver and just going for it. You know, low speeds are okay. You know, like there's only so much available grip you can have anyway. So you want to conserve your own body, because I don't want to crash into the trees in this thing. It's not going to go well. But at the same time, I can have a lot of fun at reasonable speeds in this car. Really make everything possible, because it would be very scary to collect that much speed so quickly knowing that you couldn't bring it back down. So that's one of the nice things about like replica cars, is sometimes they do build upon things that were otherwise maybe a little bit lacking. Now I'm not saying a 550 doesn't have good brakes, but modern four-wheel discs feel pretty good compared to 1950s drums. there's like actually decent room inside. This is what I like about old Porsches, whether it's 550s or more commonly 356s. They're not hard to get in and use. You know, you don't feel like you're being cramped, despite the tiny stature that the car presents on the exterior. Everything about the driving experience is tactile because it's all connected. There's no power steering. Everything is connected directly to the thing it controls. So you don't have any interference between a pedal and a computer. It just is. And that analog experience is starting to come at a premium these days. If you want that feeling, you gotta kind of pay out for it. And what I love is just the ability to get into something like this for pretty low money and have the good time. Typical highway cruiser, but fourth gear is tall enough to do it. It's just a matter of, do you want to be next to semi-trucks while you're doing it? And here lies the traffic problem. Bumper to bumper traffic is not where you necessarily want to be in your air-cooled sports car, but this being like, you know, a hot rod Volkswagen Beetle engine, I'm not too concerned. I know this can sit. That is incredibly fun. And this is the thing, when you've got these sort of like light, slow-ish cars, I mean, this isn't pulling, you know, over a G on a skid pad or anything like that. This is actually something that I can have fun at pretty low speeds and exploit the limits of these tires. And that's what you want. Look at that 996 over there looking pretty. So now that we're just sitting in traffic, I'm going to go nurse this thing back to Bond Group. And, well, who am I kidding? I'm going to make some noise. And enjoy the rest of my time in this Beck Spyder. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive. And I'll see you in the next one.